Welcome to IP Networks and Service Routing Fundamentals. In this course, we will build a practical understanding of how IP networks operate and how service routers support scalable connectivity in modern environments. Our focus is not only on definitions, but on how the pieces fit together: hosts, switches, routers, protocols, forwarding decisions, and service delivery. By the end of this course, you should be able to explain core networking concepts with confidence, recognize how service routers are structured, understand the basics of IP forwarding and routing protocols, and describe how MPLS and VPN services extend network capabilities for providers and enterprises. Think of this course as a foundation. Whether you eventually work with routing policy, service provider architectures, enterprise WANs, or operational troubleshooting, the concepts introduced here will remain relevant. We begin by setting expectations and clarifying how to get the most value from the material. Before we go further, it is important to establish a clear disclaimer. This course is intended for educational purposes. The material explains networking concepts and common operational practices, but it should not be interpreted as a substitute for official vendor documentation, product release notes, security guidance, or change control procedures. Although we discuss service router behavior and operational thinking, examples are simplified to support learning. Real production networks include additional factors such as platform-specific limitations, software versions, licensing models, security controls, maintenance windows, and business risk. Instructors and learners should treat the content as foundational training. Any deployment, migration, or troubleshooting activity in a live environment should be validated against current documentation, lab testing, and organizational standards. With that expectation set, let us identify who this course is designed for. This course is designed for early career network engineers, operations personnel, technical support staff, students entering networking roles, and professionals transitioning into IP or service provider domains. It is also useful for project managers, solution architects, and sales engineers who need a structured technical overview without starting at an expert level. You do not need advanced routing knowledge to succeed here, but you should be comfortable with basic computing concepts such as devices, interfaces, applications, and the idea that networks connect systems together. If you have seen terms like IP address, router, Ethernet, or ping before, that is enough to begin. For experienced learners, this course can also serve as a refresh that organizes familiar concepts into a cleaner mental model. Next, we will look at how the course is taught so you know how to approach each section. The learning methodology for this course is deliberate and layered. We start with fundamental models, then move into packet behavior, then platform architecture, and finally into routing and services. Each topic builds on the previous one, so understanding the sequence is part of understanding the network. We will use a concept-first approach. That means we begin with simple explanations, add practical examples, and then connect those ideas to operational outcomes. For example, when we discuss encapsulation, we are not memorizing terms for their own sake. We are building the logic needed to understand forwarding, troubleshooting, and service delivery later in the course. You should expect repetition in a useful way. Core ideas such as headers, interfaces, control plane learning, and data plane forwarding will appear in multiple sections. That repetition is intentional. It helps move knowledge from recognition to understanding. In the next slide, we will close the orientation with study practices that help learners retain the material. To succeed in this course, focus on understanding relationships rather than memorizing isolated facts. When you encounter a protocol or feature, ask 3 questions. What problem does it solve? What information does it exchange? And how does it affect forwarding behavior? Those questions will help you make sense of even unfamiliar technologies later. A second recommendation is to draw packet flow. If a host sends traffic to another subnet, sketch the host, switch, router, destination, and the headers at each step. This habit quickly improves your intuition for IP addressing, ARP, routing, and encapsulation. Third, use verification thinking. Whenever you learn a concept, ask how you would confirm it on a device. For example, if you believe a route should exist, what command would you run? If an interface should be forwarding, what counters or status fields would you check? This mindset is essential in operational networking. Finally, pause after each section and summarize it in your own words. If you can explain a concept simply, you probably understand it. With the course orientation complete, we now move into the technical foundation: how networks are structured and how packets move.